Here is a quick breakdown of the first-time homebuyers incentive. Hi, my name is Tyler Burrows. I'm a realtor and real estate advisor here in Vancouver, and my goal with this channel is to introduce, inform, update, and educate everything real estate. Today in this video, we're going to be going over the first-time homebuyers incentive. Now this one has a lot of details, so make sure you follow the link below and check out all of those. I'm just going to briefly touch on some of the important stuff, and always check with your financial specialist. The first-time homebuyer incentive is a chunk of money that the CMHC is willing to lend you towards your first property. And that can be 5 or 10% depending on the property. So let's take a look at what properties that depends on. So you can get 5 or 10% on the first-time homebuyer's purchase of a newly constructed home, 5% of the first-time homebuyer's purchase of a resale or a used home, and 5% of the first-time homebuyer's purchase of a mobile or manufactured home. Well, that sounds pretty good. There's got to be a catch, right? There is. So I think the first thing you should note is that this loan from the CMHC is part of a shared equity program, which basically means they're buying stocks in your home. So when you buy stocks in a business, you buy a little bit of ownership. Now, I'm not saying that they're buying ownership, but what they're doing is buying 5% of the fair market value of that property. So as your property value grows and shrinks, so does that 5%. So when you go to pay it back, whenever that happens to be, you have to pay them back, if you borrowed 5% of the fair market value of your property. So if that property value went up, it won't be the same amount of money that you borrowed from the CMHC, it will be 5% of the fair market value of your property. So that could have grown. Or if your property value goes down, technically, you could also be on the hook for less. And they have put maximums on the amount that they will charge you in growth. They only charge 8% gain per year or 8% loss per year. Whichever direction that that property goes in, they will not charge you more than 8%, and that is not compounded. You are also on the hook to pay them back within 25 years, but you can pay them back shorter than that. So a program like this is great if you have a chunk of money coming in, but it won't make it in time for you to put a down payment on a property. So perhaps you need an extra 5% and you know it's coming in the future. You can borrow that from the CMHC, and when that chunk of change shows up, you can repay that loan. So this can be a great way to get yourself into the real estate market a little faster if that is your goal. Now, of course, there are qualifiers that come along with this program. So if you're applying for this program here in Vancouver, you cannot make more than $150,000 a year. Now, if you live in any other cities here in Canada, make sure you follow the link below and check what your cap is, but it's usually $120,000 to qualify. The other thing that you need to qualify is the property that you are purchasing cannot exceed the amount of $722,000. You also have to be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, and again, this has to be your first home or your first property. Now, before you get too excited, make sure you take a look at the link below and make sure that you qualify. These are just some of the qualifiers and just some of the factors, so make sure you do your own homework. All right, that was a brief breakdown of the first-time homebuyers incentive. Make sure you take a look at that link below and understand whether or not you qualify and whether or not this is going to be something that benefits you. And on that note, make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok because I do a ton of home tours. You can see what's out there. I also do lots of tips and tricks along the way, so you can add some of that to your resources, just get inspired, or just daydream, whatever works for you. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next one.